Imagine this. You're lying in bed at night, staring at the ceiling, thinking about that one big dream you've had since you were a kid. Maybe it's launching your own brand. Maybe it's becoming a well-known creator. Maybe it's finally asking for that huge promotion at work. You've planned it in your head 1,000 times. You can almost see it. The moment your name's on the door, your face on the billboard, your bank account finally looking the way you want. But here's the twist. When the opportunity actually shows up, you freeze. You hesitate. You find reasons to delay. You tell yourself, I'm just not ready yet.
It's weird, right? You've wanted this for so long, so why, when it's right there, do you pull back? Psychologists have a name for this. It's not laziness, it's not lack of ambition, it's something deeper. You might be afraid of success. That sounds ridiculous at first. Afraid of success? Who's afraid of getting what they want? But when you dig into the psychology, you start to realize how sneaky and silent this fear can be, hiding in your self-doubt, in your overthinking, in the excuses you keep making without noticing. And in this video, we're going to unpack why this happens, how to spot it in yourself, and how to finally break out of it before it robs you of the life you've been dreaming about. So let's start with the most important question. Why would your brain treat success like a threat? To answer that, I want to tell you a story.
There's a guy named Ryan, 27 years old, talented graphic designer. For years, he worked at a small agency, always daydreaming about going freelance and working with big clients. He had the skills, he had the network, and one day, he actually got the chance. A huge brand reached out to him directly. They wanted to hire him for a project that could have paid more than 3 months of his current salary. And what did he do? He didn't take it. He told them he was too busy and passed the job to someone else. Sounds crazy, right? But Ryan didn't reject the offer because he didn't want it. Deep down, he was terrified of what would happen if he did succeed. Here's the thing psychologists point out. Success isn't just about achieving something, it's about what happens after. And for a lot of people, that after triggers hidden fears. One of the biggest ones, the fear of change. Think about it. If you succeed, your life won't look the same anymore. Your routine changes, your responsibilities change, the way people see you changes. And as much as we crave growth, the human brain is wired to stick to what's familiar, even if the familiar isn't making us happy. Psychologists call this the status quo bias. Your brain would rather stay in a predictable, mediocre situation than risk stepping into the unknown, even if the unknown is better. For Ryan, success meant leaving the comfort of being just another designer and stepping into the pressure of being the guy everyone calls when they want the best. That kind of shift can feel heavy. Suddenly, expectations are higher. The possibility of failure becomes bigger and scarier. And that's the second fear, the fear of falling from a higher place. When you're at the bottom or just doing okay, failure doesn't feel that bad. But when you've tasted success, the idea of losing it can be terrifying. Psychologists call this loss aversion. We're naturally more afraid of losing something we have than we are excited about gaining something new. It's like if you win the lottery, you're not just happy about the money, you're instantly afraid of losing it. Then there's another layer, the fear of what success might do to your relationships. You've probably heard stories of people who made it big, got rich, became famous, landed their dream career, and suddenly found themselves surrounded by jealousy, fake friends, or family members who started acting weird around them. This isn't just a Hollywood plotline. It's real, and psychologists have studied it. Success can disrupt your social circle. You might feel guilty for outgrowing people. You might worry they'll see you differently. You might even sabotage yourself just to avoid standing out too much. This is especially strong if you grew up in an environment where standing out wasn't encouraged. Maybe your family valued humility, or maybe you were taught that ambition was selfish. Without realizing it, those beliefs can stick in your subconscious, making you slow down right before you break through because some part of you is scared that success will make people love you less. Now, let's talk about self-identity. If you've seen yourself as the underdog your whole life, success can actually feel like a threat to your sense of self. It's strange, but many people build their identity around struggle. They know how to handle being the one who's overlooked, the one who has to hustle harder. But when they win, it feels unfamiliar, almost like they're not being themselves anymore. And when something feels unfamiliar, the brain looks for ways to get back to what's comfortable. That's where self-sabotage comes in. You miss deadlines, you procrastinate, you make mistakes that you could have avoided. And you tell yourself it's bad luck, when in reality, it's your own subconscious pulling the brakes. Here's the kicker. Psychologists say this fear of success can often be hidden behind perfectionism.
If you keep telling yourself you can't move forward until everything is perfect, you might think you're just setting high standards. But perfectionism is often just a socially acceptable way of avoiding the risk of actually putting yourself out there. Because once you put your work into the world, people can judge it. And if they judge it harshly, that feels like they're judging you. So instead of facing that possibility, you keep preparing, polishing, and planning forever. The good news? This isn't permanent. You can unlearn this fear, but it starts with spotting the signs in yourself. Ask yourself, have you ever turned down an opportunity you secretly wanted? Do you delay starting big projects even when you have the time and skills? Do you feel uncomfortable when people compliment your work? Do you downplay your achievements around friends and family? If you said yes to any of those, you might be holding yourself back more than you realize. Breaking free from this fear isn't about pushing yourself harder. It's about rewiring how your brain sees success.
Step 1 is to normalize change. Instead of seeing it as a threat, start associating change with growth. That means deliberately stepping into small, uncomfortable situations, volunteering for projects, saying yes to opportunities that scare you just a little, speaking up in meetings. The more you practice, the more your brain starts to accept that change doesn't equal danger. Step 2 is to separate success from identity. You're not your wins and losses. Success isn't proof that you're finally good enough, just like failure isn't proof that you're worthless. Both are just events. If you see them that way, the stakes feel lighter and fear has less power over you. Step 3 is to rewrite the story you tell yourself about relationships and success. If someone leaves your life because you're doing well, that's not a loss, that's clarity. The right people will grow with you, not resent you. And finally, you have to learn to move without waiting for perfection. Progress beats perfection every time. If you keep holding back until everything is flawless, you'll be standing in the same place 5 years from now, wondering why nothing has changed.
Here's what's wild. When psychologists studied high achievers who overcame the fear of success, they found that almost all of them had a moment of decision, a point where they realized they were either going to keep living small or take the leap, even if it scared them. So maybe this video is your moment. Maybe you've been thinking about a project, a dream, a move you've been delaying for months or years. And maybe the only thing standing between you and it isn't bad timing or bad luck or not being ready, but fear you didn't even realize you had. Ryan, the designer from earlier, eventually got another chance. This time, he said yes. Was it scary? Absolutely. Did he make mistakes? Definitely. But he also built a freelance career that now lets him choose his clients, travel when he wants, and earn more than he ever thought possible. And here's the funny thing. Once he got past the first leap, he realized the fear was mostly in his head. Maybe that's the truth for you too. You're not afraid of failing. You're afraid of what happens if you don't. And the only way to find out is to go for it. If this video just made you realize you've been holding yourself back, don't let it stop here. Hit that like button so more people can break free from this hidden fear. Subscribe so you don't miss the next deep dive into the psychology of success. And drop a comment telling me the one big thing you've been putting off. So maybe, just maybe, this is the day you finally start.